And 6 days later, the preliminary performance was scheduled for Friday evening, so the band needed to stay focused on excellence. The band was able to break up the bus ride by borrowing rehearsal space from Battle High School in Columbia, Missouri. Once in St. Louis, the elevated standards of BOA competition brought new ambition and aim. Performing in front of an audience of hundreds would be replaced by performance in front of thousands. In order to prevail, nerves would be calmed and determination would be steeled.
Okay, so we can't go past this. Let's face this way. Bases, let's do bases behind stairs. Can you move that way? Walk up front? Well, we're still gonna hard.
Bands representing the finest music programs from 11 states began the competition. A definitive crowd favorite, the bandmates from Blue Springs would play with a fresh intensity, and the raucous crowd awarded them with multiple standing ovations. The GR were all smiles when they left the Dome, knowing they had delivered their finest performance to date. The excitement would settle into the anticipation of being one of 14 bands to advance to finals.
in second place with a score of 90.9. 90.90. The Blue Springs High School Marching Band from Blue Springs, Missouri.
This is all your first year going to Grand Nats, right?
Yeah.
How excited are you about that?
Very excited. I'm so scared.
I didn't realize that, we're doing this really cool choreography. I'm performing in front of people for that. That's a crazy thing to me.
Yeah, we haven't performed in front of people in
It's been a really long time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to think of there's going to be people cheering for us, and there's going to be people judging us, and there's going to be people wow, I want to be in that band. And the fact that we have to put on that kind of persona when we perform, it's gonna be something.
I think it's gonna make a big change in the band itself, though.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
This show coming back from a COVID year.
Yeah.
It's everything.
I think it's gonna be very emotional.
Well, I think it's not just special to the seniors, it's special to anyone that's been a part of this band, including alumni. It's obviously it's focused on an ideology that has been in the program for history, and it's gonna touch everyone's heart. If you know of the Golden Regiment, you know of 212 and what we think of that extra degree and stuff like that.
Our show applies to everyone who's been in the band, past, present, and future. Dr. A often refers to us as a tree where we grow and then your branch is added to the tree. And the show in general is just amazing. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's my conducting the music is my favorite thing to do. There's nothing I've found that compares to being on that field performing the show.
The music that we have for this show, it really is a gift.
What makes it so great or energetic?
It's just exciting. It really is just something that you want to do.
What's the most challenging part of this show besides going on and performing this in front of a crowd, or is that the most challenging part?
I think the rehearsals right now, just in the heat, because we haven't really had a performance yet, so everyone doesn't really have the high of what it feels like with the standing ovation and actually seeing the payoff. But I think once we get that first show, then it's just gonna go up from there.
And within the show itself, the visual responsibilities are so demanding that sometimes you forget that you are performing. It is a performing art. It's not running for your life. It sometimes takes a lot more composure in the midst of chaos.
But you had that. I mean, as freshmen, you were at super regionals, and then at Macy's.
This show means so much more than that one.
Yeah. And it's just been so long since we have performed.
Why does this show mean so much more?
It's us.
Yeah,
it's us.
Yeah.
It's our story.
This show is the Golden Regiment.
And this show shouldn't be our show. It should be last year's senior show. So that puts all that weight on our shoulders of going, we have their dots. The freshmen this year, they have to be as good as the seniors were last year.
Yeah.
So it just puts that much more responsibility on us of we have to carry on a tradition that we really shouldn't have to right now.
Yeah, we're not doing it only for ourselves. We're doing it for the people who didn't get the chance to do it.
We're doing it for those that came before us and those that come after us.
Yeah, we have a debt to pay to them.
Yeah.
If we don't do it justice, then it's really bad.
We really have to, we have to take on that honor of honoring what they gave, to the program, and we have to build off of that because, as it was said earlier, we're the last class to have a Grand Nationals. We need to prepare the other classes to prepare more classes because it's a tradition, it gets passed down.
Because when the world blew up, they had the choice to either, everything's not going to be normal, so I don't really want to be part of this, but they actually chose to be hey, I'm going to give back to this program no matter what happens. And I think this show can be about paying respects to that, paying honor to that.
Looking back to last year being a pandemic year, and you're back on the field, you're back to the normal band camp kind of season, just how special is this year?
Well, having 2 freshman classes just definitely makes me being a senior that much more special. I'm teaching more people what to do and how to do it, teaching them the rights from the wrongs, and then they can pass it on to the other people that are underclassmen that are coming in. And then it's just it being Grand Nationals year 2, we get to show other people that we can come back from an off year.
The fact that the show is 212 and how what that means for our organization, it feels super special that this our senior year is something that really embodies the organization and embodies sort of just the band and what we stand for.
I think the show is just gonna be different than like what we usually do. I feel like it's more difficult. Maybe it's from like the year off, I don't know. But like I feel like it's a lot out there and I like it. So I mean, so that's different about it, and I think it's pretty cool for like stepping out there, doing something way different, and we can like make it work.
I think this year is really special because it's a Grand Nats year, and nobody's really seen us at Grand Nats since 2018. And to come back this year and to show off our show, 212, we're basically showing what we've been working on and how we've been growing and like who we are. 212 is us.
This show was meant for the seniors last year to perform. They were meant to be in the show several years ago, really. And I feel terrible that they can't do it, and I feel like I owe it to them to try as hard as I can every day, and like blood, sweat, and tears and all the things to make sure that they are proud of the show, even though they're not in it.
They didn't get their senior show where they like got to go like, either on a big trip or like to Grand Nationals or something. So I think this year is, yes, it is sort of about you, but it's also about I think giving back to the senior class that never really got to like have their big moment.
It's a very big year because we had a freshman class last year that's not used to what we're normally doing.
You sort of have two freshman classes that you seniors are now in charge of.
It's kind of our responsibility to like guide them and like teach them this year, because once we leave, there's really only one class that's really gotten a full experience, so we got to teach them.
If we went on a big trip this year, then nobody in the band would have performed at a Grand Nationals.
Make sure your hoodies and stuff are down just so you can kind of hear information here real quick, and we'll get you on the buses and back to sleep and all that. We've worked really hard. We've had a really fun season. We want you to have a great time this weekend. As I've said a million times before, please don't be a distraction or the reason for another rule. Do make sure that you sleep and eat healthy. About the time that stuff is going to hit you is about the time when you don't want it to hit you. You're going to think you can pull an all-nighter, maybe you get through it okay, and then you start getting sick right when you want to go onto the field for a performance or something. And as you get older, you start realizing that your actions have repercussions on other people, both good and bad. An act of kindness can spur another act of kindness. I think that's a really cool thing, that maybe you're the person that started a chain of positive events that happen for somebody in their life. So I want to encourage you to think more globally about the organization, about your city. You're representing more than just our band. You're representing our school, representing the state of Missouri, and how you act and how you perform. So there's a weight on your shoulders a little bit, and I know you can handle that. You have an entire city behind you, so let's let them down, okay?
The buses are loaded and the first trip to Grand Nationals for most of the band is underway. But for the seniors, this is it, the last time to ride the bus to Grand Nationals. Grand Nationals is a grueling 3-day event. Nearly 100 bands from across the United States compete Thursday and Friday. The 34 highest scoring bands based on music, visual performance, and general effect move on to the preliminary performance Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. The preliminary performance is crucial. It decides class championships and sets the 12-band field for finals Saturday night.